Welcome back, everybody, to SSL Premier. We did just finish our first match of the night. Sorry if you missed it, but Innovation did take the 2-0 victory over Hero. Made it look easy, and now we're going to jump into aLive versus Dark.
Yeah, we'll see how these two face off against each other. The inconsistency of aLive seems to be chasing him throughout these tournaments. His amazing performance in the Super Tournament was met at a quick end by Hero himself. It'll be interesting to see that revenge match when they do face off against each other in the round robin. And of course, Dark, a nearly two-time SSL champion. It was the closest anyone ever got to doing it. As a two-time finalist, you could say. And Legacy of the Void, these guys are pretty close. No surprise, though, that Dark has the advantage in total matches, because before Legacy of the Void, aLive definitely had some weak points in Pro League especially.
Yeah. Dark, he did have to go down to the fast lane. I think he got out in day one alongside Deer, if I'm not mistaken, so did make it through. He did have to go through those fast lane games, which is kind of annoying, but at least he did keep his spot in Premier, which is very nice. I think he definitely does belong here as a former champion and is on pretty good form. Isn't really a big favorite to make it to the finals, I wouldn't say, but definitely should be in the top 5 or 6.
He's a playoff contender. He absolutely could make playoffs, and that's a realistic goal. If he pops off this season and has an amazing run, and maybe this could be his tournament like Super Tournament was, but this is a very different kind of tournament. Remember, aLive is, and many people forget this, he's an IPL champion. We're talking 2012, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that was 5 years ago. But his biggest success has always been overseas tournaments. The few MLGs he participated in where he played really well back then. It's a very different type of format than this format where you're tested weekly against top-tier players. You can't have an amazing run in one weekend. You have to have it over the course of 9 weeks. And Dark is very much used to this format. An ex-Kespa player who was one of the best Zergs in the world. Some still consider him to be up there. He's definitely fallen down the list as of late, but he wasn't a two-time finalist and an SSL champion for nothing.
He's sitting at like number 4 or 5, right? I mean, we got Biala's doing really good over here in SSL, at least Sue, obviously. Solar as well, making it to the finals. And then you got like Dark. Rogue is like kind of at times kind of interesting to see that Zerg list, but either way, we do have the maps coming up here. Newkirk Precinct, Abyssal Reef, and Ascension to Ire. That was Dark's first choice, so we will have it.
Yeah, wants to throw a curveball into this best of 3. We won't necessarily see it, though, because aLive did not put it into his map pick, so Odyssey as well will be absent. So not necessarily going to see this new map here.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone can take that 2-0, but either way, guys, we're going to jump into game number 1 right now between aLive and Dark on Newkirk Precinct. Here we go, down in the bottom right. Oh, I forgot, fly, better fly. Generic, down in the bottom right, the blue Terran, it is aLive.
I don't know, I wanted to take that somewhere, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out a way.
It took itself somewhere.
Yeah. Bottom left, of course, his opponent, Dark. Said he wanted to be the first to be a two-time SSL champion. Failed in his finals run against Solar, and then failed in playoffs last season, season 1 of 2017. We'll see how well he does in this tournament. Definitely one to consider. I'd say he is maybe slightly favored going into this best of 3, but
yeah,
it's going to be about, you know, can Dark defend aLive's hyper aggression, his drop play. aLive is most known for timing attacks on this matchup, and also the tenacity at which he executes them. A player like Innovation was more known for his speed of attack and the ferocity at which it hits at such an early time, whereas aLive is not known for that so much as his execution of the attack, his micro on the attack, and how most players will sometimes clear some creep and walk away. He'll take all of his army into 3 different drop ships and continue to harass you and micro his heart out to get the maximum value out of his units. So
this definitely means that his macro suffers at times, and he isn't as, you know, solid and consistent, as you said, as some other players. You know, if the drops fail, he can definitely fall way far behind. Whereas Dark, for me, is just like the pillar of consistency, especially against Terran. I mean, this guy has been killing Terrans left and right for so long. He used to be Maru's biggest nemesis. He'd always come out against Maru when it was SKT versus Jin Air in Pro League. And I remember a bunch of final games there where Dark would come out and take him out, even when Maru was like #1 Terran at the time. So definitely favoring Dark here. Really does come down to current form as well. But I would still put Dark ahead of aLive in that.
Yeah, I think you just have to for results' sake. And even though aLive has been looking stronger and stronger, as we've said multiple times, I'll say it one last time, it's just the lack of consistency. So Overlord actually not spotted here by aLive, so doesn't get to harass it with these Marines to potentially look for the pickoff. Factory's coming up here. Everything looks to be pretty normal. The two Zerglings actually going to sneak across the map to, I'm not entirely sure what they will go and verify, perhaps try to sneak behind the Marines and get some harassment done.
It's a weird placement by aLive. I mean, generally you make that barracks at the ramp, right? So Dark, he made an extra 4 Lings, and now he's transitioning back into drones, and I don't think that was to get super aggressive, although he is moving across the map now.
It seems that the idea here, and why that vision was shown, I didn't quite realize it until now, is that Dark may be operating under the false assumption that this is a CC first because he didn't see the barracks. He saw the depots at the top, which would be a normal timing for those. So he made a bunch of Lings to try to go over here and harass this base, but there's going to be a decent amount of Marines out. Unfortunately, there's no bunker here for aLive. He did cut that corner.
Speed is about to finish. Yeah. This is a lot of Lings. I think that's 10. Just eyeing it right now.
Look, he's baiting the Marines down. He's baiting the Marines down. It's only a few of them that go down, though. aLive is definitely willing to play the safe way with his Marines on the top of the ramp. And we'll only lose a few.
He had it ready. I think he knew 100% what was coming his way. And nice response there by aLive. He's going to set up that entire wall. And with those barracks, too, he didn't delay those add-ons at all. He just made 2 barracks and went straight into Tech Lab and 1 reactor. So he's pumping out 3 at a time. He's going to get a decently early stim. And no doubt some medevacs will come out when that starport is made. It is finished. Not making anything just yet. They're the first 2 medevacs.
Well, Lings are warded away here as the Marines get into position. Now there's just too many of them for the Lings to even harass or contest. Dark will get in the fast +1 carapace upgrade while taking the 3rd base behind this. Has droned up significantly since that big swell of Lings, but aLive is keeping it competitive, actually. Just a tad behind. He has the fast drop coming out here with the stim. Gonna be a stim 2 medevac drop. We've seen it countless times. It defines this matchup. Has for many, many months now. And here it comes. Not going to be the full 2nd drop, actually. Could have grabbed those 3 Marines, but wants the speed this time. Channeling his inner innovation to hit this as fast as possible. Queen's moving towards the 3rd base, actually.
Dark, he should know what's coming. I mean, you see that many Marines at this timing, you know that the drop should be coming. He's made a lot of extra Queens. He's gone up to 7 total, looking to defend this with Ling Queen. Getting in position in the main, he has spotted the drop. Just going to wait for aLive to move towards this creep.
Yeah, the creep is completely connected, so the Queens get back here in an instant, despite being far away at the 3rd base. His creep spread is immaculate here. Not thick, but in terms of its width, like how expansive it is. And so this means that it's not going to be very, it's not going to hold up very well against scan pushes like this. It'll force him to remake it, but allows the Queens to go over there, as we just saw, be very, very flexible. And now he's actually going to catch this bio, force it to lift. The Queens get a few extra shots onto the medevac, and this is a tight hold from Dark. He really took no damage whatsoever from this.
And he's totally ready for the follow-up drop that flew right by an Overlord. So aLive perhaps not paying attention to that. He's still going to try for the drop. Gets that Widowmine in position, but an immediate surround by Dark means that's not getting a shot anytime soon. And now Dark, he's going on the aggressing here.
We knew this was going to happen. We saw the carapace come out. He stopped droning at 45. And he's just going for basically an all-in here. He's made nothing but Lings. That's why he has a very rare, in terms of army supply, lead. 52-29 currently. aLive has no idea, and he does not have enough to defend this. No bunkers. Let's see how quickly he reacts here. He's going to need to reinforce his wall. This may just be lights out, game over if he can't get back. Decent split here on the Marines at least, but he's just not going to detonate the Banelings. He wants the juicy shots here, and he's going to deny the upgrades as well.
Yeah, these SCVs on the run, already 8 of them have gone down. Finally, the Marines make it back home, but losing both of his engineering bays. He stopped mining for so long. You can see he's gone back into, you know, macro play here. He's trying to go for these mules now. Doesn't look like he'll get them, but that is a giant blow to aLive's economy.
His economy was hurt. He has 3 CCs though, so he could certainly bounce back from this. The bigger problem is that he finds himself now down in an armor upgrade, and he needs to remake those E-bays. The E-bays are done, but there's going to be a long window of time where Terran wants to be, at worst case scenario, even with the Zergan upgrades, to harass and try to hit that 4th base that Dark will be adding very soon. But without those upgrades, it makes it a lot easier for Dark to use his mass Zergling count, all of his queens to defend the 4th base, and that's what's going to be coming up fairly soon here. Still has the heavy queen count, and can even get a lead in upgrades potentially here if he starts the 2-2 right away with that lair finishing up now. Pretty reasonable. So aLive, he has the you know, ability to bounce back in economy here with this 3rd CC that he's had for a long time, build up the macro, but the attacks, the aggression, that's going to be his weak point with the lack of upgrades.
The fight for the Overlord continues up in the top right. We'll see when that actually dies. He's trying to get into that sweet spot, but can't. Well, looks like he has. I think he's got to go up to the top right there. Snipe that out of the sky. Look at aLive just waiting here on the edge of the creep. He's like, yeah, go ahead and spread it.
Getting him before the cancels can go off. Nicely done. So he can't have a head-on engagement right now at the 4th base with the lack of upgrades, and you know, knows how many Zerglings and Banelings are out here for Dark, but he can do small things like deny that creep. Still significant, however less so. So the medevacs are going to look for perhaps a kind of backdoor attack over here off creep. It's going to swing in. Creep will actually be scouted here by aLive. It will also see the attack coming. So aLive will probably get a few tumors and then have to back away, just like we saw before. There it is.
Yeah, and his time on the map being this aggressive. Oh, this is the Dark special, guys. If you don't know about this, he used to always do this against Terran, even back in Heart of the Swarm.
Hook's finish. He's going in.
He's looking for it. Those middle mines, they don't connect. Now he's going for the natural. Oh, aLive, he's not paying attention. Oh, no.
8 SCVs, make it 9. And this is a pretty good amount of DPS, or sorry, damage to the economy. Baneling's got DPS only for 1 second.
They got the dips. And now, as I was trying to say before, aLive, he's being pretty aggressive in many parts of the map and with drops, but 10 Muta is about to pop. And
when the Mutas come out, this sort of fancy pick off a tumor, kill a few lings and fly away is not going to fly anymore, no pun intended. And this drop is going down. It's too many Mutas to even fight them with the dropped units there.
Saw the swarm on the minimap of purple that came in. Dark loves the purple when he plays Zerg, which is all the time.
That's right, he's even purple colored, man.
Yeah, that's what he does. And now aLive, I mean, he's down 50 supply. He's trying to get something going with his Widow Mines, and it's going to take some big mistakes out of Dark. He's just going to go ahead and take the fight. Some pretty good hits, but it just doesn't matter. Dark's too far ahead. GG.
Drag the Widow Mines in, having the air superiority there, so no way to fly away with the medevacs. Dark, dominant fashion here, and it all started with the defense of the first set of drops. We saw the Lings come out. Nice defense there for aLive, which actually put Dark a little tiny bit behind, realistically, but when the attack came in, Dark had all the queens there, and his creep spread. We could talk about that. We could speak volumes about how important it is to have your bases connected so your queens can come back for the tight defense so that you can have more vision of the drops coming in, keep Dark back a little bit. As you can see, Korean Team Salmon over here on our cameras. We're Team Mackerel now. We've moved on.
Gone full blue, man, down to the tie. I'm wearing blue jeans. I've got blue socks on. You guys can't see that. Actually, I wasn't supposed to be wearing pants today, but I gave it away now, but that's okay. I do like them. It's just the problem in Korea is they always give you short sleeve shirts in the summer, so we kind of look like schoolboys on every single broadcast that I do here at SPO. So
look, we're learning.
Maybe in the future we can have those long sleeve shirts.
I'm watching StarCraft. Nice. I'm learning. You guys are learning. We are schoolboys right now. We're about to get schooled by Dark. How to defend these pushes as we go into game number 2.
I mean, he's putting on quite the lesson right now. Let's go into game number 2 with aLive and Teacher Dark. Here we go into game number 2 on Abyssal Reef. Up in the top left, the blue Terran looking to come back with 2 games in a row to take the series. It is aLive.
And his opponent, the solid defense and a good counterattack in the last game. It is, of course, Dark. Smashing those SCVs with the baneling attack, aLive just didn't see coming. So much wasted mining time with that as well. And the baneling run-bys were just something that Dark is known for and aLive struggled to deal with throughout that game. And I don't think it would have been able to have such a robust attack and have this timing even work out so crisply. It looks insanely crazy. Like, whoa, why doesn't aLive have enough stuff? Well, just didn't have the execution of the attack he was looking for. The execution was good, but the defense was better. So he never got any damage done with his drops, wasn't able to accomplish anything, which gives Dark this opportunity. And remember, we talk about how aLive, when he goes for attacks, he's never really willing to back off. He doesn't really let it go. He's always trying to find another angle. He just keeps pouring on and on and on with his dropships. This gives Dark the opportunity to sneak a group of Lings and Banelings to the other side of the map where aLive is still attacking. Doesn't have the defense ready, so good preparation here, knowing aLive's playstyle with the 2 medevac drops. And now we're going into Abyssal Reef, which is actually, oddly enough, the big map pick here for aLive. Yeah, an unusual one.
He picks Abyssal Reef and Frost, and then Newkirk Precinct. Those were his 3 picks, but Abyssal Reef and Frost first. Those 2 maps, I mean, it can definitely be hard to get some aggression going, especially cross spawns on Frost, but especially on this map too. And considering you're going against Dark, who I think was something like 6-0, 7-0 in Premier on this map, and especially against Terran, I'm not sure about the map pick for aLive, to be completely honest. But, I mean, hey, it seems like maybe he wants to play a bit more of a defensive style here. He opened up with the double drop in game number 1, and it looks like he might do that again here in game number 2.
That's probably the likely follow-up, but this is a map that has a longer rush distance. You give time for Dark to spread that creep, get the queens out, defend. Very difficult to execute on this map compared to maps like Overgrowth, which we could have seen, Newkirk Precinct, which we already have seen. And not only that, but he drafts Frost as a second map. So it looks like aLive was planning on playing the bigger games, playing the longer games, but feels counterintuitive knowing Dark's playstyle and just knowing aLive's weakness in the late game because he's very micro-intensive, as we said earlier. So a bit puzzling of map picks, and so far he hasn't proved them to be worthwhile, right? He hasn't shown us why he's chosen the maps or why we should believe in his map picks. Well, right now, it feels like a mistake.
Well, he is going to go for Hellions this time around. And, I mean, this isn't a map. Oh, by the way, Dark sees everything as he just strolls into the base. Definitely a pretty big oversight to just leave your wall down like that.
Good micro on both parties, by the way, though. aLive pulls quickly, brings his SC back, so only loses 1. Dark micros away. But yeah, that was an oversight. And now Hellions are out, but Dark already knows. Getting Overlord speed to get more vision, get more information.
Follow-up of Widow Mines here, too. So looking to go for some drops with that. Perhaps the old run the Hellions into the natural while dropping the Widow Mines, or in the past used to be a lot of Marines in the back.
An old favorite. The Marine pressure at the front, the Hellbat drops, remember those? Well, 3 CCs, this is why Overlord speed is so important. This is one of the reasons why you'd pick a large map as aLive here, is to try to limit the scouting information of Dark. Drone's still going to keep, he keeps it cool when he gets blown into the sky. He's like, well, I'm still going to deliver this gas, it'll be fine.
Dark is getting his lair at the natural, by the way. So aLive, he goes ahead and scouts in the main and sees no lair. Might be a little bit thrown off by that. I think he might see the lair at the natural here with this drop, but hasn't gone in just yet. Here it comes to Widow Mines.
Spore is about to finish here. Not done in time, however, but the drone pull is well done. And actually will only kill, I believe, 2 Zerglings with that.
He also sniped the Widow Mine. The perfect surround there. On point tonight is Dark. And so far, the harassment units that aLive has made have done nothing.
This is okay, though. This is not a drop that's designed to have some a miracle 20 Widowmine kills, or even like 8 would have been pretty crazy. And if he got 4, I would have been like, okay, this is about as best as he was probably hoping for. And this is not expensive. He only lost the 1 Widowmine, forced the Spore Crawlers out from Dark. But his bigger plan, his long-term plan, is to have a 3rd CC. He was hoping this would be undetected, but because Dark, of course, got Overlord speed, he's able to identify this. This pressure is just designed to keep Dark busy, keep him occupied while he goes for the long game. He's getting the double upgrades, the stim, the additional barracks, as he has that 3rd CC completed now. So this is not like an oversight or anything by aLive to think that this drop was going to be the one. It was just a distraction.
Yeah. Never think it's the one, guys. Don't be fooled.
Dark is going to put on some Ravager aggression up here to knock down these depots, because he knows aLive doesn't have that many units.
Yeah, I thought this was maybe just safety against Liberators, but game up here to the front door, not scared of anything.
Good micro, too. We'll walk into the Widowmine, sadly.
That's unfortunate, but
he kills it. That's all right.
I'll take that trade.
Well, it's funny because he probably did make the Ravagers as a response to the potential Liberators, right? And then now he's like, well, I don't have any use for these, so I might as well find a value. Did you see what I saw on the cancel there?
No, I didn't see the cancel.
It was weird that if I saw correctly, he canceled his Carapace, then started +1 attack, started his Carapace on a second Evo Chamber. May have been a misclick there. He only had a few seconds of it built, so it's not like he canceled it halfway or anything. But
yeah. But as you say, I mean, the ranged attack does mean something pretty big for Dark. It looks like he wants to go into that faster hive, defend with Roaches, Ravagers, kind of his old style that he used to play against Terran. Did it a lot in Premier for Season 1, but can he actually hold off this small attack that's coming across the map? Just has 7 Roaches, 2 Ravagers, 4 Queens, 12 Lings. Does deal with this drop over here.
Yeah, tank's not sieging up. He just wants to fight this straight up with the bio, moving forward. Now the tank's going to siege up here, but already a lot of this army has been weakened. There are only 2 medevacs here, so even though the Roaches have slow DPS, the Ravagers too, it's just enough of a group of units to eventually burst through with only 2 medevacs healing. Bioforce need to be stronger, and now he's going to have enough of those units out because he's bought enough time, but this goes straight into the hive. Burrow movement.
Yeah, he started Burrow and then canceled it and then started it again. So something's going on with Dark's cancels, or it's a bug.
Yeah, it could be a production tab bug or something, but...
Yeah. Double Baneling Nest. Doesn't he already have a Baneling Nest? No, he doesn't. Okay. He's making 2 Baneling Nests, so it's probably Dark's problem.
Yeah, there's perhaps some nerves going into this one. He's taking a very risky strategy. He's going into the Infestors here. This is not the first time we've seen Dark use Infestors like this. It was actually used by him in a match last season on Newkirk Precinct, where he used these to get fast hive out. A decent amount of Ravagers, but it was mostly Banelings he used to defend. Which is one of the weak points, obviously, of this type of strategy, the lack of Banelings. He's going to get them out now, but with the large Bioforce, speed is going to be required. Just a really weird strategy we're seeing Dark go to. The end result is he gets hive out, but the path that was taken to get there was definitely not the most traveled, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have the ability to harass with these Roaches, not going to lose value instantly once the Bioforce gets to its critical mass. But he's going to have an insanely fast Ultralisk Cavern. Pre-9 minutes here, he starts it.
And there's not much that aLive can do, right? He's putting on some pressure attacks, but he's not going for any big swing-the-hammer type moves, and he's going to be kept in his base for even longer with that nice touch of the Burrow and the Burrow movement. Even adding a Viper is Dark. Just 1. Kind of funny, but a nice little addition, I suppose, into the army that he's already building. And again, we're on Abyssal Reef. aLive is kept in his base, and Dark's going to get away with this very easily. And Dark is a really scary Zerg against Terran when he gets to this point in the game.
Yeah, Blinding Cloud's going to come into this, it looks like, is the kind of plan here. Could potentially see some abducts on Siege Tanks. We're going to see the Fusion Core coming out, so going to be the advanced ballistics, you have to imagine. Don't think we're going to be seeing any early BCs here, but...
Never say never.
We've seen crazier things. I mean, he is adding an additional starport, but probably just for more Liberators with all the tech labs coming out. So everyone on the Korean side is like, well, it's not actually going BCs, right? Like, no. Well, we started vehicle weapons and canceled it. And then he started ship weapons.
Okay. Let's wait and see.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Let's wait and see.
Or maybe it is a bug with the production tab. I don't know. But you see the BCs. I'm like, no, it's definitely a bug, right? He's not making battle cruisers, right? It's done. What's he going to make with it?
He's not upgrading advanced ballistics yet.
Yeah, does he not have tech labs on those starports? Where are all those tech labs at? Check it out. Check it out.
What?
I'm pretty sure it's not going to be BCs, but a man could dream, right?
Well, he's got a reactor on one of them already.
Yeah, so definitely no, right? I don't know why he's
the other one is making a tech lab.
It's going to be for ballistics, though, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
All right. So he just didn't happen to have a tech lab on any of his starports, so that was why we had that moment of suspense there, but it's just going to be the ballistics. And he starts Liberator production again. Just going to turtle against this. He wants to go to higher tech. He doesn't want to try to fight this insanely fast Ultralisk tech with Bio. Using small groups of Bio because Dark didn't have a Spire, doesn't have Mutalisks, so he can harass, pick off a hatchery, and fly away. The lack of Mutalisks test is a problem, which is why Dark starts the Spire right now. As soon as he realizes, okay, well, these Ultralisks are going to dominate the ground and they're going to crush any sort of ground-based push, but if he's flying around, like an annoying mosquito, I'm going to need something to shut him down. And all this while, aLive can get the advanced ballistics tech, get out the extra Liberators.
I wonder if he saw the Infestors, by the way. We were looking at the starports for quite a while. I don't think aLive saw them. I think you can kind of assume, especially when you are going against Dark, or basically any Zerg once you get to this point in the game. And so don't group up those Liberators aLive. That's all I'm saying. And you can see the Corruptor flood does start. He's only making 4 though, so not much of a flood. Just just maybe some leaky pipes.
Gonna grab a Viper here, almost.
Ooh, that was close.
Bungle only hits 2, so that was also close. Vio's gonna have 3-3 here soon, so he has that lead in upgrades against Dark. But look at this mobility here. The Spire, actually he started it and canceled it, then remade it. Or we must really have a bug with our production tab.
He has one.
Okay, a second one is coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he is building flyer weapons. I'm like, what is... He just doesn't have any area units. He has a few Corruptors. How many does he have?
He's got 4.
4. Just not in position.
The leaky pipes I was talking about before.
Okay. All right, his production tab was like freaking me out.
Yeah. Look at the Defender Ultralisk. It's like, yeah, I dare you to come through there. Not going to happen. And this hasn't been a game with too much action, as both of these players kind of just macroing up to the Supreme late game. And that's kind of what Abyssal Reef is all about if nobody goes for a big timing attack or anything like that. And that's why it's so strong for Dark. You know, as I said before, once he gets to this position of the Ultras, of the Supreme late game against Terran, he's just so strong. A lot of his games that he's lost against Terran, especially against Innovation, the ones that pop out to my mind is where he tries to go into this and Innovation's just like, no, you're not doing it. I'm going to shut you down before you even get there. And he just kills him with one timing push. But well, now he's getting a greater Spire. He's going to catch up in the upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, he already has the +1 for his Flyers. He's getting the Carapace now with the second Spire. So he's going to shut this Liberator down hard. He has a bunch of Spores he's adding right now, too. It's just feeling like some Heart of the Swarm shenaniganry right now. No mech for the Terran, but we're getting to this Supreme late game, as you said. I'm going to see some Biles coming in here to try to smash some Liberators. We'll get 2 for a few Ravagers. Pretty expensive trade for aLive. Even with all these Spore Crawlers with the advanced ballistics, he still finds a window with this mineral line.
Yeah, snuck his way in there.
Gonna see nukes. Ghost Academy's on the way. EMP can be used, but mostly just going to be for the nukes, you have to imagine.
Yeah.
We'll see how many he adds, because with one Ghost Academy, one nuke at a time is not really that useful. Probably need about 3 or 4 to get the maximum value from that.
Pretty massive bank for both of these players, but the way that Dark is going, okay, hold that thought. He's going for a big attack. As I say that, Blinding Clouds are coming down. Not the best. Actually, kind of in between the units there. It does stop about 2 of the tanks, but that's about it.
And really more important than the nukes, obviously, is going to be the snipe ability of the Ghost. I'm going full play-by-play caster here. Like, oh my god, there's a BCs because there's a fusion core. Ghost Academy means nukes. So maybe about the snipes, too. I haven't cast a late game.
You just want to have nukes, right?
And I do want them. I haven't cast a late game TVZ like this in a while, so my brain is like, oh, it could be anything. But it's actually just going to be Ghost for snipe. He's probably not going to make any nukes as well. He made one Academy. Got ahead of myself there, but So.
And as I was saying before, with both of these players having a massive bank, I feel like it favors Dark here because he can make a lot of his Corruptors into newer units and use that bank, making a bunch of his Broodlords just 4 for now. Not going to overmake them here.
Getting some small trades here and there when aLive is not set up with the extra missile turrets and the siege tanks in position, etc. We're probably going to see forward planetaries in this game, even the building armor being researched right now, high-sec auto-tracking. Creep is going to be a valuable resource to deny the turret placement. And this feels like a terraform game, but with bio, at least for now. Making 5 Vikings at a time and actually 3 additional barracks, so just wants to get ready for the max out. And it's like, I'll make 40 Marauders at a time. Watch me. You kill this army, I'll make another one in the build time of a Marauder. Corruptor sieging this up with Broodlords now, and
there's no support.
He just doesn't really have a way to break through. No Ravens or anything like that to defend, and eventually he's going to get sieged out here. It's going to take a long time, but the lack of Ravens and Vikings in position even is kind of an issue. Vikings finally coming over here now, but he has to be careful. He's got a very weak Viking count. Parasitic Bomb used already. No splits on these Vikings, even grabbing the Abduct. There's secure kill. No splitting whatsoever. I mean, I was a bit shocked at that.
He took the real damage, but at least there's only 5 Corruptors in the sky right now. But that's because he was maxed out. He just made, I think, 12 more.
That baits him into the fungal too. So actually this drop over here is going to kill Corruptors, and look for the Greater Spire actually is alive, and he will get it. This should not have happened. A miracle he's able to get in there and find that. That is insane that he finds that. So now Broodlords can't be produced. He's stopped the +2 flyer attacks from coming up. aLive is finding angles into this game. At 71 SCVs, probably wants to consider throwing some of those away for the larger army as we start to see the Ghosts finally coming in.
I think the fact that he hasn't done it yet is pretty surprising. I think he still just wants to make sure he has enough mining to remax, but he could have a much bigger army. And here we go. Again, kind of just only fighting with half his army, and now there are more than enough Corruptors in the sky.
Yeah.
Liberator's going to be forced back here.
They're in sieged up mode. They're not actually fighting with their AoE damage, so obviously can't really tango with this. So this bio gets shut down. It looks like aLive might just be crushed in one swift blow here if this continues. Finally now looking for the Liberators to get those big shots off on the Corruptors, but the siege continues, and aLive is losing ground very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
No Ghost. So as the one Ghost on the map made the Ghost Academy earlier, but no Snipes. So you have to have something to deal with the Broodlord Corruptor.
He was making 4, but now there's only 1. I wonder what happened to them.
Maybe lost the barracks that were producing them because
maybe he just lost them in a fight or something like that. So here we go. I mean, as you said before, there's no Ravens in the sky. It's only Vikings. And he's trying his best to kite, and I think eventually he will win that fight.
Yeah, in this case, he definitely will because the Corruptor's overextended even into the Marines for a moment there. Now he's kiting back here, but he lost the planetary here. And look at Dark's bank. Even if they trade relatively even here, Dark has Ultras on the ground still killing another planetary, killing a bunch of SCVs. This will eventually break through, though. So let's see exactly how Dark wants to rebuild. Going into more Ultralists right now, actually, is his answer. Has the Spire remade, so he's getting the +3 flyer carapace right now.
Yeah, I like the Ultralists coming in. When you see your opponent making that many Vikings, it's kind of like that rock, paper, scissors idea. But here we go. He's running in his Ultras by themselves.
Yeah, a lot of bio here. aLive's going to get a really cost-efficient trade here. Only kills 1 Ultra, which is very important because those are all going to go back and get transfused. Had he killed a few more because they were so close to dead, might have been able to even go for a counterattack.
He's got 10 Ultras now, only 4 Queens. So you were talking about the transfuses. Definitely could use a couple more Queens in the mix. And now he's got a bunch of Banelings. I think he's identified that the majority of aLive's army, because he can't really remax with expensive units, is basically just Marine Marauder. And here's the big concave, and might just be the last fight as Dark just rolls over that Terran army.
Just not enough Liberators here to defend, even though the air army is gone here for Dark. Some decent trades with these Liberators and the Marauders on the Banelings alone, but that's just too much. GG. Dark will take the 2-0. Definitely a very passive, longer second game there, but he comes out ahead. aLive just not having consistent siege up to deal with the Broodlords and Corruptors that came to his base. Had the Ghost Academy, but no Ghosts for the majority of that game. made Vikings late, never considered the Raven tech, which isn't necessarily required, but he needs one of these things. Otherwise, he's starting to lose planetaries to Brew Lords, he's starting to lose bio, and it was pretty disastrous after that. So that's the 2-0 victory for Dark.
Yeah, a couple of duos tonight, even though that one did take a little bit longer. Kind of what we were expecting. Dark, especially in the late game on Abyssal Reef. I still can't really understand the pick on that map against Dark when you're playing TVZ, but, you know, can't really fault him if he was feeling confident on that map. But definitely had some trouble against the late game ZVT of
The
Dark.
strategy he used made sense, but I just feel like he's weak in that. In the arena he created for himself. He made the third base, he hit it from Dark, he wanted to go to that macro, did the Widow Mine drop to distract while he took the third base, took an economic lead, but he put the game into Dark's favorite zone. So even though the build was good and it made sense for the map,
just let him get there.
Yeah, if it were a different player, I would have liked this choice, but with aLive, not so much.
Yeah, so definitely an interesting choice, but guys, we are going to jump to another commercial break. When we come back, we will have the two Splice players, Solar and Stats, going head-to-head.